Years ago, George was growing inside of his mommy's tummy. And he was growing bigger and bigger and bigger until he couldn't grow anymore. And so George finally came out of his mommy's tummy. It was early in the morning, but it was still dark outside and not time to be awake yet. But before that happened, George's mommy and daddy used to sing him a song when he was still living inside of his mommy's tummy, and they would sing him a song almost every day. Do you know what song it was? Can you sing it for us?
Yeah. George, it's been a good day. We laughed and we cried and we played.
That's such a good song, George.
That was it.
And so when George was born and he came out of his mommy's tummy, he was crying. And he was crying and crying until his mommy and daddy sang him that song. And then he wasn't crying anymore. And they held him. Show me how you hold a baby. And they said, he's the most beautiful baby in the world. And they gave him the most perfect name. George! George, what is your whole name?
George Anderson Pyatt.
George Anderson Pyatt. The best name for him.
George Anderson Pyatt.
And George, before you were even one, you knew how to do sign language.
Huh? Yeah, see?
What is this?
Amigos.
What is this?
Friends.
Friends. Show us some other signs. What is this?
What does this
Thank
mean?
you.
Thank
Thank you.
What does this mean? That means that someone is coming towards your house. I learned that too.
That's advanced sign.
What?
Yeah.
Cracker. George, this means cracker. Yeah. But
And
this
George,
is how-
let me tell your friends a story, George. Before you were one, you were just a tiny little baby, smaller than Tegan. And George's mommy and daddy said, George, do you really want to wear diapers? Or do you want to wear these cool underwear? And George said, I want to wear underwear. And so quit wearing diapers before he was even one.
Oh,
That's pretty cool.
And I didn't even poop in my underwear.
I know. And George, then you turned one. And when he was one,
He had so much fun.
he was so much fun.
Before I was even one, I was 0.
You were 0. And then you turned 1. When you were 1, you had so much fun. You got on an airplane and you flew to Michigan.
Yeah, where my grandma and grandpa lived.
Where your grandma and grandpa lived. Did you have fun there?
My dad had that fun in Tahoe.
Yeah,
And
they
we
did.
made beds and stuff, and it was so much fun there. And Miss Jenny, one time
Here, tell me your story in a minute. This is
Okay.
George's story. George, when he was just 1, he learned how to walk. And he learned how to run. And he learned how to talk.
Huh?
And did you learn how to sing?
Yeah.
You do? What was your favorite song, George?
Like my sister, the Spider-Man one.
The Spider-Man. Can you sing it for me?
Spider-Man, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web and he sighs, catches bees just like flies. Watch out, here comes the Spider-Man.
Good job, George. Everybody clap for George. Good job.
Good job, George.
George, do you remember what you wore for your first Halloween?
A dragon suit.
Oh, was it a dragon suit? Does he have a dragon suit?
I'm going to be a
Yeah.
dragon for a
Might be our coming Halloween.
Also, I
Hey,
have
George, when you were just 1, you were a whoopee cushion. You can tell me. If you know what a whoopee cushion is, raise your hand.
that.
Raise man. Does anybody know? Sage, what is a whoopee cushion? Do you know?
Yeah.
George, what is a whoopee cushion?
A whoopee cushion is just a cushion.
It's just a cushion?
Yeah, so it was a whoopee cushion.
Yeah. Does anybody know? Does anybody know what a whoopee cushion is?
I know what. It's a real cushion.
It's a real cushion, and it's filled up with air, and when you sit on it, it sounds like a toot. It's a trick. And then, after George was 1, how old was he? 2. And when George turned 2, there was so much more he could do. George was an excellent dancer. Right, George?
And then I was down my, and then
Sage, this. Telling us. No, George is telling us. George, I heard that you danced at a wedding.
Yeah.
Right? At a wedding.
And I was like,
And George, when you were 2, was your very first time you got to go in a fire truck?
yeah.
Yeah?
And then I would like fall out the window.
You didn't fall out the window.
And that was
But
just
guess what?
Dream.
You did fall off a swing. And what happened?
How old were you? Just 2.
He was just 2, and he
And
fell
broke
off the
his
swing,
leg.
and he broke his leg.
Yeah, when I fell off, I was like, and twisted my leg, and then I like got a little crack, and
Yeah.
then I got a huge crack.
Yeah.
That's how I got my leg broken.
Yeah,
And
and
then
did they put a cast on it?
Yeah, and it was orange and it had all different kinds of things on it, like a dinosaur.
Is your leg still broken?
Nope.
Nope, not broken anymore. They fixed it.
You still have that eyeball when you break it. Yeah.
And George, you used to go to another place, Miss Aylin's house.
Yeah.
Do you remember your friends there?
Yeah.
Who were your friends?
Brody and Jack.
Yeah, Brody and Jack.
Brody and Jackie.
And then,
No.
when George was just 2, he came to school here. And he made friends with you. And you, 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 and you.
And my mom and dad.
And your mom and dad have always been your friends.
And you made a friend with you.
George has always been his own friend.
Oh,
And when he was 2,
guys, I want to tell you something. I'm gonna tell Sage what I have.
I heard that.
Did you guys hear that?
I heard that.
You tell me. Oh, like the
Oh, Miss Jenny heard us.
And George, what were you when you were 2 for Halloween? Do you remember? It has a long neck.
giraffe.
Yeah, you were a giraffe.
Yeah, I'm like. my giraffe leg was like my whole body.
Your whole body was the neck?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
And
That's
I
a tall
can't
neck.
see my hands. I was like upside down. I was like this.
Mom and Dad made you walk upside down for the whole trick or treat time?
Yeah.
And
I'll
then,
show you what I did when I spin. I was like, and that's when I spin, and then I fell on my side.
George, you're such a good dancer and a great storyteller.
That's very.
So after George was 2, how old did he turn?
Olivia said copying is annoying.
But it's
Oh, we're
not.
just not going to copy each other.
Well, Olivia.
Sit up, sit up. George, then you turned 3. And when you were 3, there was so much more he could be. Do you know what George did when he was 3?
No.
Do you know?
Ride a bicycle.
He could ride a bicycle. He got his very first bike.
And then I got my
George, Phoebe had a question. Hey, friends.
You gotta hear George.
Phoebe had a question.
Did you do the pedals?
Can you reach the pedals on your bike?
No.
You cannot reach the pedals?
Yeah.
Yeah, but now I can.
Now you can.
I have one bigger bike.
Hey, Olivia.
Olivia, this is
When I
George's
was
story.
like 2, I was like,
You were too
like,
little?
like this, low to it, and my bicycle wheels are this long, and my feet were like this long.
And now can you reach your pedals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And George, when you were 1 years old, you
Olivia,
couldn't
put George's seat
even
back,
reach
please.
the bars. You would be like,
George also went to California, and I heard you went to a dinosaur park.
yeah,
Is that
and
true?
when
Wait,
I-
Jonah,
Yeah,
this is
and
George's
and
story.
I saw
Jonah,
lots
speak
of
up.
amazing things there.
Tell us what amazing things, Sage.
George has snot right here.
George, can you get a tissue?
Sure. Okay,
Go get one right here.
come back and see.
And you'll tell us the amazing things you saw?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw
Jonah,
dragons
sit
and
up
I saw
and have to move.
dinosaurs. Huh? Real ones. And people were riding on them.
Riding on the dinosaurs?
Jonah,
And the dragons.
Jonah.
And
Please
when
sit
you
over
went
and
to
act,
California, did you play in a giant sandbox?
No, I played in a huge mouth.
In a huge, oh, in the dinosaur.
It was like this huge.
You have a pretty big mouth.
And
And look how
Sage.
Sage, this is George's story.
I was like walking in his mouth like,
And George,
and then I pulled up its eye.
George, tell your friends what dance class you started.
Tap dance.
George learned how to tap dance.
That's a tap dance. I was like, and then I learned how to shuffle, and then I learned how to, and then I learned how to do the stamp. Stamps are stomps.
Yeah, there's stomps.
Stompy dance.
So now George is turning
4.
and now that he's 4, there's so much more. Tell us about what you got for your birthday.
Well, I got flowers.
Not yet. Did you get a skateboard?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then I got a Hot Wheel and it jumped through fire.
Wow.
Hey George, can I give you a present? You had your birthday. What is that?
And George, in just a few more days.
What?
Hey George, in a few more days it's Halloween. Tell us what you're gonna be.
A dragon again. A green
Olivia, sit George
powerful
down.
dragon, and I'm gonna be like,
It's his story.
but my wings, the wings are gonna be on my back, like
Back
right
here, are you gonna have a tail?
Yeah.
You
It's
are.
gonna be like sticking onto my butt.
Yeah.
It's gonna be as long as this. It's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 feet long. That's
I'm
pretty
gonna
big.
be Ariel, and you know how long
Better
I'm
get
gonna
busy.
be? It's gonna be
A lot of sewing.
real.
Are you guys ready to sing happy birthday to George? Are you ready? Put in your very best singing voice. Ready?
Sage.
Ready? Wait. Let's all start together. Take a nice deep breath. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear George. Happy birthday.